aviation business editor at Skift. He joins me now from Los Angeles. You know, Brian, you've been writing for several months about the impact of Boeing, not from a manufacturing point of view, but from the fact that the airlines are really taking a hit. It's one of the things they really didn't need to hear about that 737 MAX. Where do you think that's going in terms of the ripple down effect over the next several months?
Well, it's going to be a while before we know exactly. The airlines had said they expect to be flying this aircraft by about mid-August. We now know that that's not going to happen. I think everybody in the industry thinks it'll be great news if this airplane is flying again with passengers by the end of the year. And even that might be kind of a bold prediction. I expect we'll see the airplanes flying in the United States first because regulators have been a little bit friendlier to Boeing here and maybe the rest of the world afterward, but nothing is imminent.
And the point is they're going to take some hits for that financially. They already have.
Yeah, the airlines are going to take hits from that financially. The good news is long-term, Boeing should make them whole. Airlines are expecting to get compensation from Boeing. It's going to take a while. They will probably get it. One of the bigger problems that airlines have in the short term is consumer confidence, right? So regulators can clear the airplane, you know, as soon as they want, but people do not want to fly in this airplane. They're skittish. They're scared. I found it very interesting at the Paris Air Show today to see Boeing actually come out and say, you know, we're humbled by this. We're surprised. You may remember a couple months ago, they took a very harsh stance.
I do.
So it's been a big change for them.
Yeah, it has been a big change. And I have to say, you're absolutely right. I think any one of us flying, even though we're not flying the 737 MAX, we are looking a little bit more closely at what we are flying and making inferences from that. Going on to Lufthansa, we just had that profit warning. What's at work there? I know they say it's a low-cost environment, but it's not like they haven't played in that playground for a long time. It seems that they have forgotten the rules somehow. Why? Why so much pressure?
Perhaps they have forgotten the rules a little bit, but it is a very harsh competitive environment right now in Europe. Lufthansa has a low-cost subsidiary called Eurowings. Eurowings attempts to compete with EasyJet, with Ryanair, but Eurowings has not been very successful at that. So they're all out there chasing the same customers with like these 39 euro flights between major cities, and it is really hurting Lufthansa Group. The interesting thing is, despite the profit warning today, Lufthansa Group came out and said long-haul routes to the United States, to Europe, they're doing just fine. But, you know, Frankfurt to London, that is a disaster right now.
We'll remember that. Very quickly, Brian, I know that you look at both markets carefully. That whole low-cost carrier thing has settled out in the United States. Does Europe have something to learn from that?
Europe probably does have something to learn from that. You'll know that there are no low-cost airlines in the United States owned by big airlines. So United Airlines had an airline maybe 15 years ago called TED. It was United's spunky low-cost airline. It did not work. The U.S. carriers got out of that game. Now they're just discounting some seats in the back of the aircraft. They're calling it basic economy. Europe didn't learn from that. So Lufthansa didn't say, we're just going to have basic economy. We're going to have some cheap seats in the back. They said, no, we need our own airline to compete with Ryanair and EasyJet. We're going to call it Eurowings, and Eurowings is going to lose a lot of money this year. It is not a good situation.
Yeah, as you said, London to Frankfurt for $50 is a reality in Europe. You are not going to get any flight in that distance in the United States for $50. It is a long con dream.
Not very many, sir.